Hello my beautiful caterpillars, and today we are doing another Tinder story. I just filmed the last one, which doesn't really talk about a lot, but I just kind of wanted to give you a story. This is not clickbait. It actually did happen to me. It was very terrifying in the situation when it did happen, and let's get into it. I call this the story. He told me he was 24, but he looked 30. It is not clickbait. He actually kept. So we didn't actually meet per se on Tinder. We met on this single at my college. It wasn't called single at my college. It was single at the blank college I went to, or going to, because I'm currently still there, so I'm not going to actually tell you what the college name is. I have mentioned it in a few videos. But yes, I went on that website, posted something because I had been single for 4 years. I was in a relationship in high school from like the end of December in grade 9 till the beginning of grade 11 for like a month in grade 11, and then bam, I was single for 4 years after that roughly, and I was super lonely. And so you can imagine, 19, yeah, I was 19 at the time. Yep, I was 19, so I was in my second year of college, so, you know, I thought my first year of college I might meet a guy. Nope, that didn't happen. And so I'd heard about this single at blank school, so I went on it and I was listing things, and I finally got the courage to kind of post something about myself and was like, hey, I'm this and blah blah. I don't remember what I said, but like some people commented on it, and then I like messaged them and was like, hey, I saw you comment on my post. It's single at the school, like blank school. And then I was talking to some of them, and I was talking to this one guy, and of course, good thing I did not actually give him my phone number at the time. I used that, what I talked about in the last app was the app Next Up, or Nexus Plus or something like that. It was an app that, in case you don't know what that is, not sponsored by the way. It would be a great segue if I was, but I wasn't. I'm not. It was just this app that I got that it was like, could be a cell phone with used with Wi-Fi, so it gave you like a number and you could text someone, and it was just through Wi-Fi, it wasn't data. And at that point I didn't want to give out my real phone number, because I still don't. I still don't suggest you do that, because they could be creepers, and then if they are, you can just quick delete that app and never talk to the person again. And so it was free, so I, you know, gave him that number to talk to. We had been talking on like the site through Facebook for a little bit. And so I was going through like his photos, because it was on a Facebook page. It was like single at blank school. It was a Facebook page that someone had created, and so I was talking to the guy through Facebook, and I was going on his pictures, and I asked him how old he was, because he looked to be 32. Now he told me he was 24 at the time. So, you know, this is a very crucial part of the story. We were talking, and we had planned on meeting up with each other at Tim Hortons near my school. He went to the university. I went to the college in this town. So we met and I didn't have a car, and he did, so we were going to meet at the Tim Hortons, and then he canceled on me, and then I can just end up going on Tinder. I was already on Tinder at this point, because like me and this guy, we had kind of like, I was very apprehensive about meeting him because he looked 32 and he told me he was 25, and my friends were all like, don't do it, he looks like a sketchy guy, like he looks fucking 32. So I was like, okay, so I didn't end up meeting him. We went on Tinder. We had this big huge fight or something. I don't even know what it was about. Like, it was very childish, and we didn't end up meeting. He canceled on me anyways. Then I started dating. I went on Tinder. That's how I found Tinder. I was like, I don't really know how, but it was on the same roughly lines of when I found this guy, which we will call him Mufasa, because that's how my friends and me referred to him. That was his nickname, was Mufasa. We had nicknames for these guys because we couldn't actually remember all their names, so it was easier just to try to give them a nickname. Plus, I didn't really know how to say this guy's name, so we'll call him Mufasa, because that will also clue into my friends who know me who this guy is. And so anyways, I started dating a different guy. I met this guy on Tinder. We ended up meeting like the next week or a couple weeks after that. We dated for a while, and Anywho, this guy like would message me out of the blue like randomly, and you know, like, oh hey, let's hang out, let's meet, blah blah. And I'd always be like, nope, I'm in a relationship, nope, I'm in a relationship. And then he was like, oh, I just got out of a relationship, hey, let's hang out, let's meet. And I was always like, nope, I'm in a relationship, or no, I'm not in that town. And then eventually, you know, January, February, March, no, it was between time last year, he had messaged me. And again, because we've been messaging each other like on and off, I never messaged him after this point, after we were like didn't meet up and I was dating someone else. He always messaged me because I wasn't like gonna get involved with that. And because he looked 32, he still does. And he was always like, oh, you're not gonna go out with me because you think I'm too old, blah blah. Like, that's, I always get that I look super old. He's like, I'm not, I swear I'm 24, I swear you're 32, you look fucking 32. But then we ended up meeting in person because I thought, you know, it's been an entire year. He hasn't tried to murder me yet. Why not just, for the heck of it, give this guy a chance, because he's been hounding me for the past like year on and off. So I'm like, might as well. Then I can get this over with and be like, yes, I went on a date with you, it didn't work, or yeah, maybe we could date, blah blah. So he comes to pick me up. First rule, I never, ever get in a car with a guy I've just met. I always meet them somewhere public. But because I was like, I've been talking to him for a year and a half now. He hasn't tried anything like super creepy. I'm like, I feel like he's probably not a serial killer, because I feel like if you were going to kill me, you would have moved on by now. You wouldn't have waited like a year and a half to hunt your prey down. You know, so I ended up getting in a car with him. We went somewhere, and never again will I get in a car with a person I just met. Like, I do not recommend this. I am so lucky to be alive. My friends all knew what he looked like. They kind of saw him when he was coming in. Like, multiple people and people that worked in residence knew I was going on this date. So if anything happened to me, people knew where the fuck I was. I was like sending updates to my friend being like, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm safe, don't worry. But this guy was super creepy. Not like himself wasn't creepy, I just felt super uncomfortable the entire situation. So we got in his car, we drove down to the river, and he was like, I'm gonna take you to like this new, like, he's like, you probably haven't been to this part of town, like this weird part of place in the river. And like the entire time I'm sitting there, I'm like, he's gonna kill me, I'm gonna die. It was getting darker. It was like 7 o'clock when we left, or 6 or 7, like 7 o'clock I think, and it wasn't dark yet, but by the time we got to where we're supposed to be, it was like 8 o'clock. I don't know, I was worried he was gonna kill me from the way he was taking me. And he kept trying to like touch me when he was like in the car together, and he was like talking to me, and he would like touch my earring or something, or my ear, and I like instantly was just like, get your fucking hands off me. Like, that was my instant reaction, was like, do not touch me. And I just sat there and I was like just being like, do not touch me. And I've never gotten that way before. Like, I've never gotten that instinctive where I'm like instantly uncomfortable when you touched me. Like, he looked freaking 32. He told me he was 24 this year as well. And I was like, last year you told me you were 24. This year you're telling me you're 24. Like, it's been a whole calendar year and then some, so you should have aged up. You should be 25 now. You're continuing to tell me you're 24. I think you're 32. You told me last year when we started talking that you were 24. Now you tell me you're 24. I keep thinking he's 25. No, I keep thinking he should be 25. It's been a whole calendar year and then some, because we continue on the date, we're talking, you know, things were okay, but every time he tried to touch me, my body instantly like recoiled and was like, don't touch me, like, get the fuck away from me. Like, just I didn't move, my body was instantly like, no. Warning sign number 1. I was like, no, 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 don't. Like, I'm so uncomfortable. Like, don't touch me. And then on the way home from the date, we were like out by the water, and I kind of got hungry, and I was like, since he's got a car and I can't get to McDonald's very often, I'm really craving McDonald's. So we stopped at McDonald's. And just because also it was like, I was starving, I was kind of hungry, and like I wanted McDonald's, so we ended up getting McDonald's. And because we were driving right by McDonald's, and I was like, hey, do you mind if we like stop and get McDonald's? He was like, yeah, sure. So in the entire way driving to McDonald's and back to residence, in my brain, I was like, get out of this car right now. Like, my body was just like, jump, get out of the car right now, like, just get out. And this guy, like, other than the fact about his age being, like, a little weird, didn't really give me anything else to, like, creep me out. But my body just instantly was like, nope, get the fuck out of this car right now. Like, open the door and, like, do the roll and, like, run and, like, get out of here. And I was like, I wouldn't mind if he left me in this McDonald's right now and I had to find my own way home. And, like, I'd rather deal with, like, a creepy taxi driver right now. I'd rather take a cab to get home. I do not want to get in your car. Like, I do not want to get out, and I didn't want to be rude, and I was like, I have no escape plan. Like, I have no friends that, like, have a car that I can be like, yeah, my friend's gonna pick me up right now, and to be like, text him, be like, get your butt over here. Like, I wanted to take a cab home. Like, I felt so uncomfortable in the car with this guy. Like, I luckily am still alive. Nothing happened to me. He didn't do anything to me. Nothing bad, you know, he just kept, like, touching my ear and, like, touched my neck and, like, touched my hand, tried to hold my hand, and I was like, fucking no. Like, do not. He was like, oh, your hands are, like, so soft. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I moisturized them. And I was kind of like, just stop touching me. And I got home. Like, he dropped me off at the residence, and he, like, was like, hey, we should hang out some other time. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll let you know. And then, like, he texted me a couple days later. And I was like, I can't, I'm sorry, like, I can't see you anymore. I was like, he's like, was it something I did? I was like, no, I just felt, I didn't say I felt, like, extremely uncomfortable with you being there. We just didn't hang out again. I, like, went home and immediately went to my friend's room and, like, I was banging on the door. And she was like, how'd the day go? And I was like, ew, 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 ew. I'm like, I just want to take a shower. I want to get off me. Like, I'm just like, So I was telling my friend all about the date. And, because everyone else knew it was like, they're like, hey, how'd your date go? And I was like, no, don't want to talk about it. It was bad. It was so bad. I'm like, it was, I thought I was gonna die. I'm like, I don't know, but I always say, from this story, trust your gut. Trust your gut. I have never ever felt like that ever, like, with anyone I've ever met. I've never been, like, extremely uncomfortable when they've touched me. I've never been in someone's car and been like, I need to get, like, the fuck out, and not being like, he wasn't sketchy or anything, but I personally, like, he wasn't giving me any reason to be like, I'm not safe in this car. My body and my gut was just like, get out of this car. Get out right now. Like, we need to get out of this vehicle. We are not safe. And so I very much so listened to myself, and, like, I was so tempted. Like, I had my hand on that door. I was like, if anything goes wrong, I'm, like, jumping the fuck out of this car. Like, I don't care. I'll take my chances. And, like, you know, I can't run. But I was just so uncomfortable in that car ride. So if you're ever in that situation, get out. Get out. I know nothing bad happened to me, but listen to your gut. I was this close to being like, you know what, I'm gonna call myself a cab to give myself a ride home. I didn't want to say anything to this guy, tip him off that I thought he was a super creeper guy, because I wanted to get home safely. Luckily I did, but he didn't give me a creepy vibe. But if he had, I would have 100% got a taxi home. Like, if he had given me a creepy vibe, he didn't give me the creepy vibe. My body was just like, instantly did not like him. I was just like, there's something about him, did not like. And then later I was telling the story to someone else. They're like, yeah, my roommate last year went out with that guy. He's, like, super creepy and, like, does that to all the girls, and, like, he tries to pick up a lot of the girls, and, like, he's really weird. And I was like, yeah. And, like, I'd been encountering him for the past over a year, so I thought it was time, you know, being a nice person, I'd be like, yeah, sure, why don't I just give it a try? I may have wasted a night, you know, it was a study break, no big deal, you know. But oh my god, it was just so learn from, I've learned, trust your instincts. Trust, if you can take anything from this story, trust your instincts. If the surrounding doesn't feel right, the situation doesn't feel right, get out. Get out. Like, I was super lucky, but I might not have been. He might have been, like, I was just, trust your gut. I've never felt like that before. I was just like, ugh, I need to get it off me. Like, I need to get out of here. Like, I just felt so uncomfortable in that situation. So So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have some other great Tinder stories. I have the guy that sent me, we'll call him Super Emoji Guy. He was super creepy. It was like 2 different people. I have the explicit content video, which I'll probably make after this and post that sometime, so that'll come up. I will talk about all these, but let me know what next one you want to see. Yeah, super explicit content guy. That one is very interesting. What other stories do I have? Oh, the guy, my story of how I got stood up. One guy told me his friend had died, and that was the reason he couldn't hang out. Yeah, I've got some good Tinder stories, so let me know if you want to hear some more. Which one would you like to? Comment down below which story you want to hear. Okay, I'm 21 now, so like I was in college when this all happened basically, so you know, I wasn't doing anything bad. I always knew where I was. I always met them in a I'm thinking of the word. I always met them in a public place. I was always safe, you know. I talked to them for a week usually before I met with them, to kind of see what it's like. Oh, I have 2, these guys can go together. Oh, I call him the okay guy. Like, oh my god, that guy. And I have some really good Tinder stories. Let me know. Let me know if you want okay guy and like ponytail guy, because that would be a good story together. Like, let me know and I will do them. Like, I will probably do all of these stories just because I have some really good. That one, the one I told you today is probably one of my best. So if you don't like that one, you probably won't like my other Tinder stories. I just like hearing people's Tinder stories. And at first when I was on Tinder, I was like, I don't have any like creepy Tinder stories. No. It wasn't until kind of this year in college, my last year in college, that I really have some creepy. It wasn't kind of like in the last 6 months. Well, I guess it's kind of like a year between my first boyfriend in college and then my second and then my third. Like, I have breaks, little sections of my life where I was on Tinder, like my 2 times on Tinder, and like periods up on Tinder. And yeah, I have some really creepy stories. So let me know. First I was like, I don't have any weird stories. How do these people get these weird stories on Tinder? Now I have some weird Tinder stories. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys later. Goodbye, my beautiful butterflies. Mwah. Bye. Also, give this story a thumbs up because I survived. I don't know. And subscribe to hear more Tinder stories. So yeah, bye.